All I want to do right now is take a minute to talk about the triangle inequality for the addition of vectors. So remember, these symbols mean magnitude. So the implication of this is that if you're adding two vectors u plus v, the magnitude of the resultant that you get has to be less than or equal to u plus v. And this comes from the fact that u plus v added together always has to make a triangle. So if I look at the angle between u and v, so here I have an angle somewhere between 0 and 360. The triangle law of addition says that I slide them so they're tip to tail and add them up. So this side is shorter than those two added together because I've created a triangle. Now, the biggest triangle, I can only kind of work this even if the angle between them is bigger than 90 and it's somewhere to being closer to 180 degrees. I would still slide them and I'd get my resultant, and the magnitude of this resultant is much less in this case than the two magnitudes added together. Now if we think about this, the angle between them can't reach 180 degrees because if it reaches 180 degrees I'm not really making a triangle, and the resultant in this case when I put them tip to tail would be that piece in there, which again is shorter than the two of them added together. So whenever you're making a triangle, the third side of the triangle is always shorter than the other two sides added together. But what if they don't make a triangle? So 180 degrees is this, but because I still have to slide them tip to tail, one of them is going to cancel out some of the other, and the resultant is going to be much shorter. If I walk 10 meters north and then 9 meters south, my resultant is only 1 meter north. What if there are 0 degrees in between them, so they are going in the same direction? So that's like I'm walking 10 kilometers east and then another 2 kilometers east. Well, that way they would go tail to tail, and the resultant is the two magnitudes added together. So if I walked 8 kilometers east and then 2 kilometers east, my resultant would be 10. But if the angle is not between the two vectors is anything but 0, and as long as it's something between 0 and 180, then I'm going to create a triangle, and my answer needs to be less than or equal to 10. So the longest you can get when you're adding two vectors together for the resultant is just when they're straight on and their direction is the same. That's why the or equals to. In any other situation, you're going to make a triangle, and any side of a triangle is always shorter than the other two sides added together. So that's where this triangle inequality comes in. So if I'm doing a question where I have a vector u and the magnitude is 3, and I have the vector v and the magnitude is 7, and the angle between them is 57, I know my answer has to be less than 10. If I get something greater than 10, I know I've done something wrong.